Gentlemen and female gentlemen, we have something of an episode on our hands today. This is my co-host of my newest venture, the Unhinged Talk Show. So anyway, I don't know how this happens, but every day that we are set to like record an episode of the podcast, something big happens right before. Last time, I set up to record with Hermes, and Mr. Beast calls me. I don't know. And this time, we're set to record, and, the faded Mutahar post-Nux clarity video drops. It has nothing to do with gender, all right? If a female friend of mine made a hit piece on me, I would probably deal with that first, too. Don't. This isn't a competition. It's not fun for one of us. So, anyway, I'm gonna try to do my best to do a TLDR here of the story. So I did speak to Mutahar, just now, for like 2 hours. And basically, we talked things out to a large degree. But I'm gonna do like the TLDR whole story here. First and foremost, if you're here just for like the Cliff's Notes answer, Muta apologized. We are still friends. That's the Cliff Notes answer. It was a pretty sucky moment there. I got a lot of DMs. Let me put some perspective on this whole thing, okay? Because the last thing I want is this video to send Muta any hate either, okay? I don't want to come from here at all. Listen, I love me some chaos now and again, but it was a pretty rough moment there for a minute. You know, Muta's one of my best friends, so that's pretty fucking crazy. Shut up! Basically, Mutahar has been getting an incredible amount of hate as of late for associating with me. Now, I used to do these videos back in the day where we would all get into a call together like 3-4 years ago. And we would all get literally shit post on the internet. Like we would make fun of hentai and stuff like that. And this clear. Before videos, there was something of fate and myth. You may have even heard of it, Hermes. It was Boku no Pico. Are you familiar? So Boku no Pico was trending everywhere because PewDiePie fucking reacted to Boku no Pico. His video's still up and has 14 million views. Like everyone and their mother reacted to Boku no Pico. It's literally a whole family affair because it's a whole family that's having sex with children in this it is a nightmare. Like, but the thing is, everyone reacted to it. I never reacted to it. Like, somehow, that was too weird for me. Okay? Looking back, I don't know how that happened because I was making some pretty wild content back then. But first, everyone reacted to Boku no Pico, right? PewDiePie, everyone. Now, Boku no Pico, that's lolly, Shota stuff, like, to the extreme. Muta said in his video that anything in a high school setting is lolly, and that's just obviously wrong. Lolly is if the character looks either like a petite woman or like a child. In my opinion, petite women, lolly stuff, whatever. I don't really care. The child stuff rubs me the wrong way for sure. But adult-looking women in a high school being lolly, bro, is the whole fucking My Hero Academia community pedophiles now because someone uploaded, I don't know, Ochako hentai to Rule 34 or something? You know, like, obviously, if the character looks like an adult, I don't, like, it's not lolly. That's just a fact. That's not a opinion. But anyway, Muta was getting flamed for associating with me. People were calling him a pedophile. And, that's awful, by the way. That's really fucking bad. And it put him in a really bad headspace. And I hated that it was coming from me. To the point that before this video or anything came out, I messaged Muta and I told the guy, bro, I totally get you. If you want to stop associating with me publicly and you want to completely cut me off publicly, I hate that you're getting hate because you're associated with someone as controversial as myself who did the unthinkable, being shit posting on the internet 3 years. You put me through the ringer whenever I do something altruistic. It's not fair. It's not fair. I definitely stopped collabing to a large degree just because I hate that other people get hate for me, like, associating with me. And the thing is, and this is what's the craziest thing in the world, like, I'll make videos criticizing DEI in video games or whatever, and I'm literally called a Nazi, that word. And from someone whose grandparents are Holocaust survivors, who grew up on Holocaust stories, to be called a Nazi is pretty fucked up. It's pretty crazy. But I have gotten to the point that I can definitely see people shitting on me and just not caring. I make content out of it at this point. Like, I don't care that a couple of brainlets on Reddit or Twitter are gonna fucking make fun of me, call me a Nazi or whatever. I completely don't associate with that shit. And my friends know who I am. My family knows who I am. I don't give a shit if some random people want to cancel me for that. You are literally evil. Literally. All right, this is squashing beef, okay? So anyway, this got really bad. What were you saying? Yeah, I don't know why you're here. But anyway, so because Hassan Piker, everyone's favorite socialist millionaire, made a insinuated that Mutahar was a pedophile for associating with me. Now that's not random, invisible internet people anymore. That's now a content creator with a large audience. He does have vocals. So, which I think really was the thing that pushed Muta over the edge. To a large, now you have not just invisible internet people, but you also have content creators. Now, to Mutahar, in a call just now. Sorry if I'm messing up with the timeline. It's been a pretty stressful day. Yeah, I just opened up YouTube to a 40-minute hit piece on me from one of my friends, specifics, because like I do want to clear my name on a couple of things, and I know people are gonna be upset that I'm calling it a hit piece, but the fact that all these old dramas, like the Tyga drama and the Shadman drama, like these were brought up and have really nothing to do with anything, like that all this is brought up and like really makes it look like some sort of hit piece, and comparing me to people like Mama Max, like, but anyway, whatever. I don't want to send any hate to Muta. I'm just trying to get the headspace here correct. I'm trying to fucking tell the story, because people are gonna be asking me nonstop. People are already asking me nonstop, when am I responding, what am I saying, what's the story? So I'm trying this in a way that does address the situation, because people will never stop bothering me and Muta, so I'm just doing this to do my best after a very stressful day. So anyways, opinions are coming probably. So Hassan makes this verifiably false, slanderous statement insinuating that Muta is a pedophile by being in these collabs with me in the past, which is being awful and brutal and despicable of Hassan. And I told Muta when we talked about it, I said, you're gonna take Hassan's word calling you a pedophile with this much weight? Hassan, the guy that supports terrorists on Twitch, that advocates murder of Israeli babies because he calls them settler babies, the guy that denies rapes that happened in October 7th when the UN confirmed that there were rapes that happened in Israel, he's gonna deny that shit. Now, this isn't me coming here to start talking politics. I think everyone with 2 brain cells can agree that innocent people dying is bad. I think that's a pretty based opinion, and just so. But you're really gonna take that guy, that slimy motherfucker that I have videos on, that if you want you can watch those videos to get my opinion on that, but that guy is the guy that you're gonna say, oh, he called me a pedophile, so now I have to defend myself? Like, that's the guy? And whatever. Obviously I don't want to start some sort of Muta Hassan beef, even though that's already kind of going on. And Hassan could beef with me if he wants. I don't really care. But Hassan's big tactic, whenever someone criticizes him, the first thing he does is basically slander them to completely misrepresent who they are to his audience, so that he attacks them. He's already slandered them. Like, there's this guy Nicholas Diorio who said something negative about Hassan, and Hassan's like, isn't he the guy that makes alt-right content? Which is like, no, he doesn't. But like, you know, once you already put someone into perspective to be that guy, it's much easier to tear them down. So like, Muta criticizes him for promoting terrorism propaganda on Twitch, and his response is, isn't that the pedophile? Well, he didn't say it in those words, but isn't that the guy that watched lolly porn in the Discord calls? You know, that insinuation, obviously. So, but anyway, with all that shit going down and people criticizing Muta for his association with me, people basically I don't want to, I'm not trying to stir the pot here or anything, but a lot of people stop criticizing me for these things because they see it's like, it's not working. I'm gonna make content out of it. Like, yes, I shit posted online. Yes, I addressed all this on my, if you want to go watch it, I made a 10 years on YouTube video. It is up. I addressed my mindset, why I've changed my style of content, why I don't do those thumbnails anymore, why I don't do those type of videos anymore, why I don't like doing that shit. I have grown and all that. But that said, it was shit posting on the internet, and let's not get it twisted. It was not anything that wasn't that. Like, bro, the Boku no was worse than anything I've ever done. Deleting people and hiding evidence and deleting shit, when in actuality, I've addressed everything. You can't say that I'm manipulating people into fucking doing this shit when the videos are all public. I've changed some past thumbnails that I no longer stand by or want on my channel, obviously. The way I see it, there's definitely there's a tier list when it comes to flaws. Like, a lot of things are more important. I don't want to do a tier list on who's a bigger criminal, EDP 445 or Mr. Beast, okay? That's not the point. But the point is, as far as like the criticisms about me, like, I've messed up. Like, he brought up the Tyga thing in his video, which I apologize. He showed the wrong apology. He showed me talking about a tangent, not the actual apologies that I made about it, and not the clip of Tyga accepting the apology from his stream either, which again, I like, well, yes, it was very nice of him, but he actually did do that. The irony also of Muta defending Tyga against evil me. Muta thinks that people that like lolly stuff are pedophiles, and Tyga is a known commissioner of lolly stuff. So like, it's like, you gotta really wrap your head around the purpose of all of this. And really, I think it's because Muta felt fucking awful seeing the word pedophile next to his name. And honestly, I get it. It's pretty awful. It sucks that I like even was some sort of catalyst for this sort of criticism. I feel like people realize, oh wait, we can't really criticize Nux for this because it doesn't really affect him, so we're just gonna criticize his friends. And I firmly believe this. Mutahar is a really great guy. He's a great guy, and he's a much more ethic person than I am in general. And I think he takes things more to heart because he genuinely wants to be a good person and a beacon that other people can, well, I don't want to say a beacon for people to emulate, but he definitely wants to be a force of good in the world. And when people are gonna like call him a pedophile, he's not gonna feel like that force of good. And you'd say, anyway, I just wanted to say one thing. Muta did take the video down, all right? So it really, I guess, whatever. I don't want to say
Sure.
talk, woman.
Nah.
He was in word spiral. It was he's in a, I think, pretty bad headspace right now, and it's appreciate the entertainment of a nice backstabbing now and again. But sometimes it gets it's a little too close to home, you know. Listen, I'll make videos on other people's downfalls. I guess I should make videos on my own at some point, right? I mean, that's what we're literally doing right now. Well, the first thing I thought was, holy shit, banger title. That was the first thing I thought. Post-nut clarity? Fuck,
clarity,
dude.
yeah.
The second thing I thought, I was like 38 minutes long. That was the second thing that I thought. And I was like, wait, this isn't distancing. This is more. Third thing that I thought was, fuck, he wore the Sonichu medallion. Oh, it's over. It's over. Okay, no, you're not missing out. Moving on. Obviously, he should have, and he regrets it. And I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty unfortunate that didn't happen. Okay, again, I'm trying my best here, because obviously I am pretty biased in this situation, but I'm trying my best to ration the perspective of every morning, opens Reddit for some god knows reason that they felt the need to do such a thing in this hypothetical scenario, and someone on Reddit calls me Jeffrey Epstein, Mutahar Ghislaine Maxwell, his partner in, right? When you see that, it hurts. I want to talk to the Jeffrey Epstein in this analogy, which is slanderously despicable. Dog, I shit posted online. The funniest thing is, like, people are there's this one clip of Turkey Tom saying he was uncomfortable that I showed him a dog hentai. That was not a hentai that I showed Turkey Tom. That was something that everyone was talking about because it was an anime that aired on national television. That was fucking disturbing, and everyone talked about it. This isn't in my videos, obviously, but in almost every single one of my videos, even when I spring shit on people on purpose, I always ask them, are you comfortable with me including this in the video? Are you comfortable with being in this video? Are you comfortable with this topic? I know the topics are surprises in the videos. The way I used to record these collabs, I would get a bunch of people together and I would mention the topic of the video. And everyone would be like, oh God, like the topic is crazy. I sprung it on them. And then almost every single time I would ask people, are you comfortable with this? If not, I'll change the topic. I have a safer one in reserve just in case. And then people would say they're okay with it, and then we would proceed. Obviously, that part would be cut out of the video because that's not entertaining. But almost every single time, I would actually ask people if they're comfortable with it. And I remember there was one time that I actually did have to use the reserve because one of the people was not comfortable with the topic, and I therefore did change it. I can tell you who and when after the podcast. I don't want to. It did happen. So it's not like I obfuscated and hid shit and manipulated and I think the reason why Mood is getting so much backlash is because this is all public. Like, I never lied about anything. Well, I'll be honest, I don't think most people would be able to understand what it's like, and I don't want to say this from like a high horse position. But people don't know what it's like to get shit on by thousands of people online. I don't think the human brain is designed for that, and I don't think evolution reached that point yet, that people are ready for that. And I agree, you're thin-skinned, you should... Look, I have been getting hate for a very, very long time. Literally, as long as the internet, I've been getting hate because I'm a fucking internet troll. Mutahar is not a troll, okay? Obviously, that is the case. Obviously the case. And look, I'm not... obviously, he shouldn't have made the video. I'm not defending him choices. I'm just saying that mentally, it's with you. You're describing is very relatable and cool, but unlike some other situation where someone gets backstabbed and therefore they are arch nemesis, I completely forgive Mutahar for this shit. Obviously, I don't want any hate to be sent his way. He's my friend, and obviously don't want any of that. It's a fucking awful situation. And for Muda. True. But I think handle all of this negative energy and unite against Hassan. No, that was a joke. No, he's not gonna do that. He's never gonna mention me because he can't do anything to me, probably. I mean, our audiences are different. But the example I gave Muda about like random comments online, I was like, all right. If you're gonna take every comment online seriously, like some guy calls you a pedophile and then you start thinking you're a pedophile, like you know, people use crazy shit online. So I used the Nazi analogy first in regards to myself. Like, people calling me a Nazi has got to be the most ironic shit in the universe. Like, here I am talking to my grandfather, Holocaust survivor, and people are calling me a Nazi when I grew up on Holocaust stories. Like, that's not fucking do shit to me. It's not gonna make me start thinking I'm a Nazi, obvious. But the thing is, you know, the mainstream media calls Trump voters Nazis. That's over 50% of the American population. If you're gonna take every insult online and labeling online seriously, then holy fuck, you're surrounded by Nazis. Pretty bad. It's a pretty bad thing. All right, it's a pretty bad thing. All said, it's a pretty bad thing. This should have been an email. That was the comment on his video. The irony is, and I'm comfortable to say this because I know it's true, but the irony is, unlike a lot of other people, I'm not like sitting here terrified that some shit's gonna leak. Because I literally have never sexted anyone online ever in my life. There's people. I have never sexted anyone. All right. You sending shit to me is not the same thing. I do not relate. Just kidding. It's not real. It's fake. Anyway,
Submissive to me.
Someone donated a subscription to her on Twitch.
Nope.
Okay, moving on. The irony is the entire internet. When this shit broke, I think everyone kind of understood this to be the same thing as I do. Well, maybe not as rationally as I do, but you know. Except for Keemstar, who insinuated I'm a pedophile. You can't shut up. He's like, I always knew it. Check his hard drive. Yeah, I love this guy. He just keeps winning, Keemstar. Maybe I was upset. Maybe I was upset for hours. Hours, honestly. Maybe I was fuming and debating what kind of video I should make to retaliate. Debating whether I should just completely debunk every point or only take the high road, and maybe I shouldn't do anything. And honestly, thank God Muta deleted the video and called me, or I don't know. Maybe we would have a different ending to this story. What did I answer? You sent me like a whole fucking wall of text, and I'm like, lol. Yeah. So you know, it was a very stressful moment. Not the first time I've had a similar situation, but I am grateful Mutahar is, I think, a much better person than the people who have backstabbed me in the past. So one thing that I do want to say, like, also to be clear, I know Muta definitely didn't say this in the video. The video's impression is saying Nux is a pedophile, right? If he's saying I'm not a pedophile because I didn't know what Nux was doing, well, what does that imply? And like I got some good pedo comments already rolling in, so only up for what, like 7-8 hours or something, and being on YouTube and on Twitter, and people were going, you know, I'm a pragmatic individual, okay? And the way I see this shit is, okay, it's done, it's in the past, now what? So from the perspective of someone that has already dropped the Mutahar Nux hit piece video, whatever, he took it down, he apologized, what else is he supposed to do? Uploaded that video, I downloaded it because I thought he would delete it. Let me try to put this into another perspective, okay? Again, I do think that definitely that would be very cool and pog and appreciated and all that thing. As an outside perspective, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'm sure comments are going to be saying this anyway, so that I can talk about it from the outside perspective. But the way I always viewed like these internet beefs, I always viewed them much more personal. Yes, they're public and ugly, but they're also very personal. And I personally am not demanding that. So I necessarily need that. If I apologize to someone privately and they accept my apology, I don't know if I need to do a public flagellation if they don't want me to or expect me to. This is going to be, whatever. The more it's dragged out, the worse it'll be for Muta. And that's sucks. Again, I've moved away from a lot of collabs because I personally don't like when my friends get hate. It sucks. Really annoying. I don't mind when people shit on me, dude. Like, the Jaden Animation stuff is hilarious. That, oh god, he reacted to Jaden Animation's video? He's parasocial. Dude, that shit's awesome. Okay? That's hilarious. Okay, so I gave Muta this analogy. I'll say this too. Like where my headspace was at with, like, this kind of thing. Okay? So I never said
waking
this
up to that
in a video, but this was very funny. So I was in Israel, and I opened my phone and I'm looking at like the Jaden Animations cancellation tweets. Nux reacted to a Jaden Animations video. He's parasocial and probably a stalker, right? Like, you know, 100,000 likes. And I'm like, oh shit. And then a siren goes off that a missile is coming. And I have 60 seconds to get to a bomb shelter. And I go to the bomb shelter. And while I'm in there, I open my phone and my phone was on the Jaden post. And I was like, this does not matter. I was like, wow. This is the most irrelevant shit in the universe. It really puts things into perspective. And not to get into too many details.
Impending death will do that.
I do appreciate my audience a lot, the people that watch my videos. I appreciate my friends. I appreciate my family. I appreciate like the people that are important in my life. These are the people whose opinions about you matter. The random guy on the internet that calls you a pedophile, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Mutahar is a friend of mine. And
that's why I take my stance.
Tense. And I know he felt really pressured into publicly burning this bridge, but he's a friend of mine. And I don't want to add burden onto my friend's shoulders. Well, that doesn't mean two wrongs don't make a right. I do expect justice to exist in this world. I love me some chaos, and I love me some justice. I love me some good karma now and again. But when I see someone else wronged, I want things to work out so that it makes it right for them. When I am wronged, if I am satisfied, I don't need any flagellation going on anywhere else. Right?
Yeah, but
like if someone wrongs me and I don't feel and I fucking want them to burn for it, like I'm gonna laugh when they have a downfall. But when someone wrongs me and they for whatever reason, I don't know what kind of mental gymnastics went into making that video, but I obviously don't want any harm or hate or anything to go to Muda's way.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And, the reality is this video is definitely more. It was a 38-minute hit piece on me, and it did more damage to Muda than it ever could to me.
Did it though?
Yes, it did. Yeah, 100% did.
Okay.
Because
I'll take your word for that.
People looking at this situation, they're gonna be like, "Why did he make this video? What was the point of this video?" And so that said, I do think that it definitely did more damage to him than it did to me. So why should I sit here and expect more retribution and shit? I really do. I swear, I agree with you. And this is the logic I would use as an outside commentator. But when I was the one that was in this position and I am someone that's wronged, I feel like it's fair for me to decide how it should be made right. I don't need a big public ukulele apology. I recognize that not everyone is as cynical and stoic as me when it comes to random bullshit online. I am much more into the personal shit than the online shit. Okay? You don't have any massive behind-the-scenes dramas, for the most part, brewing and shit like that. Such a headache in a couple of years when you stab me in the back. Yeah. And look, decisions that I am not proud of.
Of course.
We do our best to move forward. We could keep digging up 3-year-old dramas, or we could, have fun on the internet and make fun of other idiots instead of ourselves. Look, I'm not trying to win this debate with you because I don't think this is a debate per se. You're coming at this from the perspective of an onlooker. I'm coming at this from a perspective of a friend, of somebody in a really bad headspace right now, and that is moving. I was in a bad headspace for a good couple of hours. I was to send me an email. Another bombshell, speaking of the Some Ordinary podcast, and I have been silent about this for unironically months. The Some Ordinary podcast ended because of a ownership dispute between Muda and a management company. That is why it ended. He did talk about that in his new video, in his Nux hit piece. He brought that up. I never said it because I didn't want to smear Muda. I didn't want to smear the fucking company that he worked with. I didn't want to smear anybody. I was literally not talking about it. But the result of that was people thinking that the podcast was shut down purely because I had a connection with Shadman.
Yeah.
I was so thrown under the bus for that as well. And I didn't talk about it because, well, what am I going to say? I didn't want to throw anyone else under the bus because of the dispute shit. The ownership thing. So I didn't bring anything up, and it ended up months of that festering. Muda said one thing, and then he said the other thing. He did come out to say that is not true, but, like, again, I feel very quick to be thrown under the bus for things. And that's why I picked you to be the co-host of this weekly rant session.
Yeah, I know. It's private details.
Mutahar is a much bigger channel than me, which on the one hand is really scary because I thought my career might have been over. I saw that video drop. I thought I might not have a job. But that was the first. That was something else that I thought at that time. That was a little stressful. But so when that happened, that was crazy. But also, Muda is much bigger than me. He gets a lot more hate than I do. That's just, or at least proportionally speaking, that would be true.
Yeah.
I do think I get a very disproportionate amount of hate for my size. Like, I think I have more haters than fans, honestly, because I fucking annoy them so much. Like, I literally
You have, like,
videos to be taken out of context. And I'm like, they're so fucking good. They're so good. Like, you don't understand how easily they roll with the punches. Like, when I get canceled for that Jaden thing, like, he reacted to a Jaden Animations video. He's a stalker. Like, my community just started making memes about it. Just being like, very excited for the next video where Nux and Jaden tackle a specific topic. Did Nux and Jaden just finish going to the bathroom? Like, they're gonna, fucking... those are the jokes that they start making.
Yeah.
Like, they play into the fucking memes of it all. They could disagree with me. They're not... At least from my perspective, they're not like. I don't want them to disagree with me. I want them to be good little tyrannid soldiers, but unfortunately,
there you go.
No, but honestly, and I love this. People do reach out to me every once in a while, like my mods. They'll say that we noticed that like this, we don't agree necessarily, and I'm like, I hear this is my point, and they're like, okay, I see where you're coming from. Like I literally had this conversation with someone yesterday, where but whatever. So. I really am grateful for my community, and I think Muda has a great community as well, because if they were just a hive mind, they would have all just come for me instead of actually being rationally, and I think that is a community that will support Mutahar in the future if he decides to, come back to making content and doing his thing. Right? I
a lot of the comments
in the comment section calling him a pedo Nazi, right?
Yeah, they literally
the comment sections were like. It was very, I think, rational criticism in general. The thing is, like, I know that we're discussing this. Basically, we were scheduled to record this, like, right after this all happened. I'm sure that all the commentary channels are going to go, like, make their rounds with this shit. Probably going to flame both of us, to be honest, because that's
probably
par for the course, I suppose. Whatever, I just, like, it's sad because I'm not planning on making this whole big debunking video for different claims. I know people are going to take Muda's things about, like, the Taiga situation, the Shadman situation, like, at face value, which I don't blame them for. Muda normally very much has his ducks in a row, but like these situations were not told honestly and fairly. Shadman said it's a little too middle school in like his response to somebody tagging me, and it made it look like too middle school was talking about children in his fucking porn, right? Too middle school, that sounds pretty bad, but in actuality I was too middle school for Shadman, which is why Shadman didn't want to like collab with me.
He was
there were just so many like little things that I could sit here and point out and talk about. Like as I watched the video, I was right. I didn't want to watch it more than once. So as I watched it, like, I wrote on basically everything that I would disagree with, like as it goes. So if I ever needed to make like this big response video, but I don't plan on doing something like that, and I really hope that my audience doesn't take this, because I needed to talk about it, because like, let's be real here, this is a big situation that people want to know. Dude, my fucking comments and chat and messages and emails are all asking me to cover this stuff. I can't just make believe it didn't happen, but simultaneously I don't want friends reached out to me. I could talk to them in private. It's not a big deal. But there are people that watch me and hear me talk about things. Bro, I'm gonna make 10 videos on Mr. Beast. I'm not gonna make a fucking video talking about myself when I'm in the hot seat. So here's the thing, and I told this to Muda as well. No one is entitled to your videos. You have no obligation to satiate people. All right? They could say whatever they want. They could do whatever they want. Your videos are free on the internet for anyone that wants them, and you should not feel beholden to other people unless they are. So I told Muda, I said, listen, when you got married, you and your wife promised to take care of each other. That's a contract. Okay?
Yeah.
Fucking idiots on the internet? Like, bro, you owe them nothing. Nothing. Well, I think that's almost inevitable that if you see 100 comments, okay, 99 of those comments are like, cool video, heart. And one of those comments is, I fucking hate you, you giant Nazi pedo bitch. Obviously, that's the one that's going to stick out in your mind, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's hard for me to relate on stuff like that. I think I've become so desensitized where... Like,
I have a good time. I've left Twitter for a while ago. I basically
choice.
I sometimes go on there if I need to look up specific things.
You know
what I use Twitter for? Like, I was on stream and I mentioned that Hassan said that baby settlers are valid military targets. Okay, so Hassan said that, and someone was like, Hassan didn't say that. So then you just go on Twitter and you type in Hassan baby settlers, and then the clip just shows up. Like, that's what I use Twitter for. If anyone is a good compilation of all the most fucked up shit in the universe, it's Twitter. It was a culmination of, I guess, a while of people telling him things about associating with me, and it painted him in his perspective of me in a warped light, I think. And I'm glad I got to talk to him now, and I think we do see eye to eye on things, which is nice. And I don't want any hate to go his way or my way, I guess. But you just got to keep seeing it. It's everywhere. Like, how are you going to turn off the hate? It's the only thing that trends literally everywhere. I don't care about trend. I mean, just it's the top of your Twitter feed or your Reddit thing or whatever. Especially
really
like
is.
with politics and with wars going on in the world, with the war in Israel and with the war in Ukraine and there are more wars. There's a civil war in Syria, and then there's a war in Yemen, and there's a war in the Congo. Like, these things are all going on, but you can't even pay attention because there's still other wars that you need to think about first, right? There's the divide in America, in the country, in the politics, right? Canada is in like a bit of a shithole right now when it comes to like housing markets and shit. You know, like it's everywhere. Like it's just there's so much shitty things that happen. I think it really just keeps sucking people into new shitholes to look at.
I guess draining people. Yeah.
And that's why I personally have decided to, you know, kind of divert my content into a more, look, there's shit happening. You can either cry about it or you could laugh about it. And I'm going to try to make you laugh about it. And I just poke fun at all the weird chaos that happens in the world. That's kind of been my content direction lately. And I've been enjoying doing lore dives, looking into good stories, and good content is more like personal. It's for me. It's like what I like to do. So that's on the main channel on Nuxtaku. I would argue that you had no influence. Yes, it was cool when you said, I like this content of yours, and then you complimented me for about 20 minutes profusely. I do appreciate a good compliment now and again.
That is...
You think very highly of yourself. Do you know? Aren't you like 4'9"? Well, I wish everyone had the same self-respect that you do. I think it's a better world if that would be the case. And to everyone that's watching this, I want you to know that there are real-life people that care about you, probably, unless your life is pretty fucking awful, in which case I'm sorry. But there are real-life people that care about you. And those people are worth so much more than random fucking idiots that just want to tear you down.
Yes.
That don't care about you. So focus on the people that matter, okay?
To say be a good person.
That verse to Muta, and I firmly think it's a fucking awesome verse. Okay, it's from the Talmud. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna butcher it because it's gonna be in English, not like in its original language. But whatever, you'll forgive me.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So basically, if God is real, then you should try your best to be a pious, good person, so that in the afterlife you'll get all these rewards and stuff, and you're not gonna end up in hell and all that stuff. And if God's not real, well, then you're just a pious, good person. Which I think is a pretty fucking awesome line. That's just really good line.
I agree.
In general. I'm not going to sit here and make believe I am a pious, good person. I would like at some point to be a pious, good person. And I think I am. I'm trying. I'm cutting that out of the podcast. On a personal level, I try. On a content level, I obviously have a good time at the expense of fucking losers. Maybe not the most pious thing I could be doing. Banger verse bar right there. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Listen,
totally.
I put my foot down in places where I think are important, and I honestly I like my community. I like my content right now. For what it is, and realistically, I'm very grateful for the people in my life that do matter, and like my real friends.
Am I one of them?
And so I went through a lot this day. I don't know how we always record these podcasts. We have to stop doing this podcast, I think, Hermes, because like realistically, next time we're doing this, we're gonna be set to record. We're gonna sit down. Fucking Trump is gonna call me, and I'll be like, "Oh God, how do you one up this? How do you one up this?" Sure.
What's different?
I try not to get into too much personal stuff, so hopefully next episode will not be about any of this, and it'll be about like, I don't know, misinformation online or something, you know, innocuous like that. Yeah, and also don't send Muta any hate. I'm saying it again. Okay, it was a bad situation.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll just be in the past. I'm sure the commentary people are just gonna turn this into a whole big thing, but I don't plan on feeding into it anymore. And stay weird.